Hello beautiful people, my name is Amanda Zitto and welcome back to the How to Plan a Motorcycle Trip series. Today we're going to go over just a few packing tips to help you deal with the what ifs that come along with traveling on a motorcycle. This is not a packing list by any means. I do have a list of things that I normally take with me on my trips over on my website. Link to that is down in the description if you'd like to see a full-on list. But the point of this video is to give you just a few things that you should be thinking about when you're planning your trip. So here are a few of my recommendations. Starting with the golden rule of packing a motorcycle, if you have the space, you will fill it. Try packing the smallest bags that you have or the least number of bags possible. Pack light, and remember, you can purchase most things on the road. You do not have to pack enough food to last you a whole week because, wherever you go, people are going to have to eat food, so there's going to be a grocery store. Packing cubes can be super helpful in keeping you from overpacking. They are also super helpful for keeping everything organized in your bags. Always, always, always bring waterproof gear and an extra pair of gloves. The weather will always change. Even if you think it's going to be dry as a bone, that will be the one time that it does rain and you're stuck with wet gear. Always plan for all types of weather, cold, hot, or wet. Another thing that I hugely recommend you doing is customizing your first aid kit. Make sure that you have something to deal with bug bites, burns, tweezers to remove bee stings, electrolyte tablets, and ibuprofen. External battery packs are just always a good idea. Having a net bungee or extra straps is your best contingency plan for all of those unexpected purchases you're going to make and or bringing groceries back to camp. Just a note though, do not rely on net bungee straps to hold anything to your bike that weighs more than half a pound. On that note, make sure that when you are packing your bike before you leave to shake everything forward and sideways as violently as possible. Make sure that you're mounting to secure points on the motorcycle, preferably the subframe or anything that is very sturdily attached to the subframe and not flimsy plastic parts. And just take your time when you're mounting things to the bike, preferably the night or the day before you go so that you're not in a hurry. If you can't take a test ride with all of the gear loaded on your bike, make sure that you stop about 10 minutes after you set off so that you can get off the bike and make sure that nothing has moved and everything is where it's supposed to be and is stable still. Not sure how many people will understand this reference, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's kind of like putting a saddle on a horse, okay? Horses do this really funny thing where they hold their breath while they're getting saddled. So when you cinch the saddle down, that's not actually as tight as it can get. And then a few minutes into the ride, they let their breath out and then the saddle is loose. So you have to get off the horse and tighten the saddle properly. Bikes may not be able to hold their breath, but the way that you pack the bike while it's in the garage and it's nice and still doesn't mean that those bags are going to stay that way once the bike is running, vibrating, having the wind blown on it, or is moving when you go into corners. Just stop after a little bit and check your bags. Handlebar mounts for your phone is fantastic for directions and GPS, and it can make the difference between having to stop every few feet and check a map and or getting lost and realizing that you missed your turn 30 miles ago. Don't get me wrong, getting lost can be a really excellent way to find new things, but if you're in a situation where every single hour counts, that could be kind of frustrating. In colder weather or even in the summertime, it's a good idea to have a few hand warmers with you, especially when the sun goes down and the temperature drops a little bit more than you thought that it would. I recommend packing synthetic clothing. Synthetics just pack smaller than natural fibers. I'm not gonna lie. Not to mention that cotton is kind of the enemy in the wintertime. It's super great at absorbing moisture and keeping it there, but not so great at evaporating it. So if you're somebody who likes to soak your shirt in cold water in the summertime so that you can stay nice and cool, cotton is awesome. However, in the wintertime, that's not really what we want to do. So try to pack clothes that are made of polyester, spandex, or nylon, or a blend of multiple synthetic fibers and natural fibers. They're just going to help you insulate all that heat, and if you do sweat, it's going to draw that moisture away from your body and evaporate it quickly so that you don't get cold. Synthetic fibers and merino wool are antimicrobial and moisture wicking, which means they won't smell quite as quickly as cotton or linen or other fibers like that. I don't pack jeans anymore because they take up a lot of space, and I can pack 4 pairs of nylon pants in the same space that 1 pair of jeans takes. Also, in order to wash a pair of jeans, I'd have to go to a laundromat. You know, they don't dry quick enough for me to do laundry at camp and have it be dry in the morning. Next, have a way to get in contact with people when there is no cell service. I broke my wrist last year, and since then, I now carry the Garmin inReach SE. The SE is cheaper than the Explorer version of the inReach because it doesn't have all the map functions that the Explorer does. But the SE does everything that I need it to, including being able to hit the SOS button in worst case scenarios, but also being able to text and use it as a satellite messenger. There is an app so that I don't have to use the tiny buttons on the inReach to text. I can text it on my phone, and then the device sends the text to my mom. It is about $36 a month. Any kind of satellite messenger phone thing like that is going to require you having some kind of subscription service. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at all of your options. Another thing I'm going to tack on here in the end is if you're traveling in a group or, even by yourself, it's a good idea to have some kind of wing tarp that you can set up so that when the weather gets icky, you can get out of the rain. This also is a thing that you can set up so that you can set up your tent not in the rain. If you didn't see it, Tim did talk about this a little bit in his most recent video, which I will link up there or down in the description so that you can go check it out, which I'll be really surprised if you haven't watched it already. Those are just a few of my packing tips. Let me know your packing tips for the what ifs down in the comments. I hope that you guys enjoyed this addition to the How to Plan a Motorcycle Trip series. Next time, we're going to be wrapping it up with a few more general tips and a reminder of the mindset that you should keep while you're planning your next trip. I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You guys make these videos possible. I could not do this without you. If you like this content and would like to support this channel, for as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to videos like these. If that's not up your alley, that is totally okay. I do have stickers, prints, t-shirts, all the good things with my motorcycle art on them over on my Redbubble shop and in my Etsy. Links to those are down in the description. If that's not up your alley either, that is totally okay. I appreciate you guys just for watching. And I think I'm gonna steal this thing from Chris Lonsberry. Go do something nice for somebody this week. I'll see you later. Even though it might seem imperative, you don't have to pack food for a whole week, because chances are you're going to pass by a million grocery stores on your trip anyway. Wherever you go, people are going to have to eat. Unless, I guess, you're going to Antarctica. But even then, they've got the science station. They got to get food there somehow. Another thing that I have been doing is filling a Ziploc bag with socks and trying to pack that with all my stuff as well. Because then, when you're on your way, you pull out that bag of socks and look, you've got all of the space. Oh, it's a convoy.